All right, guys, welcome back to the channel.
It's about that time. It's about that time. Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Get you on the grind and improving your mind in every single video that we do. So, guys, before we begin today's live stream topic, make sure you smash that like button, help us out, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And you can talk to us in the live chat, or if you're watching on playback, make sure you leave a comment, let us know what you think. So, we're going to be reacting to a new Jubilee video. It's going to be cringe, but we're going to see what we can learn in debate style. So, basically, they got a bunch of people together. Two sides. They call them the alphas, whoa, and the betas. So we're gonna see these alphas and betas clash, and we're gonna see what we can learn from these prompts and these debates, and kind of just review it and see what we can learn and what kind of cringe we can react to and laugh to in the process and have some fun with it along the way. So we're not going to waste your time. Without further ado, let's pull it up and see what we got today for you guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're going to be cringing, laughing, and learning
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Yep.
Brought to you by All Gains Mindset.
Yeah. So
Okay, good.
I have the video in the description. Definitely check it out whenever you feel like it. It'll be there. Let's see what these guys got. This might be separated into two parts. You'll figure that out when we get through it. But let's just go do it now.
Should be the stable ones. Men don't need to be crying in front of women, and ideally they're not splitting chores. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but I think that if a woman cannot look up to you in some way, then she cannot respect you, and if she cannot respect you, she cannot love you.
I totally disagree. Totally,
I totally agree.
totally disagree.
So if you call yourself an alpha male, you're something's going on in your brain. Something you need some friends. I would never call myself an alpha male. I'm just some guy trying to make it in the world. I'm do what I got to do. Trying to put my dent in the universe. Trying to make something of myself. But I would not really, maybe some guys think of you as an alpha in their brain, like an unspoken thing, like, oh, that guy,
Yeah.
he's badass. He's a G. But I guess for the sake of indignation and drama and for the debate to go on, they call one team the alphas and the other team betas, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out if they.
Shout out to Mr. Lucario. I see him in this video.
Yeah.
We did a live stream with him. We actually interviewed this guy, so if anyone wants to check out that video, highly recommend. He's a very smart guy.
He's a very cool guy.
He's very
dope.
socially intelligent. I'll give him that, no doubt about that.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
And
Be like that guy.
so let's see what we got.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. Men are designed to want to sleep with multiple women.
Okay, so let's go first.
Yeah, we host first.
You know, this is funny because Mike and I are on both sides of the spectrum. Complete opposites. Mike is married and in a monogamous relationship, and he's happy that way, and that's how he wants it, and that's good for him, and that's cool. I am banging hoes. I'm out here in the streets. I'm in the streets. I'm a full-on man whore. That's what some people have said, but I see the other side that Mike does not see, and Mike sees the side that I don't see. He lives the quiet life, and I'm out here exploring myself. I'm out here finding myself and figuring out who I am, and smashing some pussy along the way. But are we designed to sleep? It really depends on like who you are. So, what do you think, Mike?
Okay, so if I take this from a biological standpoint, from a scientific standpoint of like the male, like the male side of the human biology species, I feel like we are only due to a reproduction purpose. I feel like we are designed to do that because to make sure that the human race and for our species to survive, we must try to fornicate with a bunch of the female versions of ourselves, and to then reproduce as much as possible to then have our species go forward. It's just the same as every other species of animals on this planet. All the men want to do that to make sure that they can reproduce properly and make sure that their purpose on the planet was worth it by making sure that the next generation live after them. I that's really the only reason that that I do believe that, because that's just a biology. That's just human biology and just animal biology in itself. I feel like that's just how it is. That's kind of how like the male and female sexual dynamic kind of works, because men go in, right, and they inseminate into one woman, and then that person, that woman has a child, but that means, but he can't just do it again, like while it's already there. Like he's got to like go to a different one and do it again. That's why like there's the thing with the master key or whatever. Like there's a key that can open many locks, but there's not a lock that can be opened by many keys or something like that. It's a whole big thing. But yeah, no, I agree, but not for maybe the same purposes as some other people might think. It's more of like a biology thing. That's the 100% groundwork right there. Let's continue. I like how all of them just came up.
Yeah, right there, like up.
Yeah, I would say I definitely agree that men, want to sleep with multiple women. I think it's natural because one of the things is because we have so much sperm and that we produce so much sperm, and that makes us want to repopulate the earth basically. And so
Yeah,
a lot of times what happens is I think that society is telling men not to do that for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And some guys fall into that, but I definitely believe that men actually want to be with multiple women because it's just a natural thing in us. This is why you hear all the time, men always cheating and guys feel like they, trying to hide the cheating and everything like that. And if it was natural for them to just want to be with that one woman, then cheating wouldn't even be an issue. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think for the way we were cultured, I agree with that, but also to just through human history, right? For survival,
exactly.
I mean, maybe this is old school thinking, but it's just like for survival, you need to have lots of kids. So someone's pregnant, how do you keep multiplying? You just more women, right? Not saying it's right or wrong, but it's just kind of the way. I think women even cheat too. It's like 50-50.
Yeah, I think women also want to do their thing, saying in some situations, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's just men. I think it's a natural, like I feel like because that desire is there, it's a natural thing for, if we're talking specifically men, that desire to want to do it is natural in us. So then therefore you're going to want to do it. So I don't think it's a natural thing to just be with this one woman, but at the same time, when I'm with this one woman, I only want to stay with her. It's almost like I'm lying to myself if I just want to be with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that makes perfect sense. But the question is that the end point? Is being with multiple women the end point? I'm of the firm belief that it is important to position yourself as a man to have the capacity to be with as many women as you possibly can, and position yourself in a way where you understand female nature and you maximize your potential as a man. And that's where I don't necessarily agree that just because there's a deeper desire to continue to do it means it's going to be the most optimal thing for you and your own ability to thrive at the highest level and connect with God here on earth.
I was taught not to be with multiple women, right? But it's like, especially, I mean, here's the thing, especially when you're in a relationship, right? It's like, it's better to grow together with somebody than multiple people, which I totally agree. But I think in the dating terms, it's like, there's nothing wrong with being multiple women because I think that's just dating. It's experimenting, it's finding other people. But are we naturally made to just always be with one person? It's like, if that were true, then these first thoughts of being with another woman, even though I'm in a committed relationship, would never occur, but it comes up once in a while. But it doesn't mean I'm acting upon it. So
And you might be being generous about saying once in a while. Probably comes up quite a bit.
it depends what kind of relationship you're in, I guess, or how good of a day it is, right? Like, but I would say for me, if it was totally natural, even though I was nurtured into only being with one woman, that these thoughts wouldn't occur then.
Right. And the thing with me, I'm non-monogamous. So I have a wife, I have a girlfriend, and I still, from time to time hook up with other girls. You know what I mean? And so, and the thing is, it feels regular to me. It doesn't feel like I'm trying to do it or doing it because I'm forcing myself. It just feels just natural, like it's something I want to do. You know what I mean? And so to not do it feels unnatural. You might just want this one woman for a relationship. I can understand that. But sexually though, I think it's all BS.
Yeah, I agree. I think a man can absolutely be head over heels in love with a woman and still sleep with other women and it not mean anything to him.
Right.
And I think all men have the proclivity to want to sleep with other women. Now, whether they're able to speak to that and actually act on that or not, or if they've been able to, like you said, like religiously find a way to work around it. And I think religion has been great for that, because if it weren't for religion, we probably would not have society. But I think what's most important to identify is that a man should create choice in his life. And if you have choice, you should be able to do as you wish, particularly like in your case, like in my case, if there's no deceit.
Exactly.
It's the lying that, in my opinion, is actually the overall problem when guys, tend to go outside of a relationship. They lie.
He's right. Like, lying is bad. Stop it. Even guys who
It's
lie,
like the loyalty
stop.
test that we react to. It's like
Yeah.
the guys, they just lie to themselves and they lie to the girl, thinking that they want to be with only them, but really they're not ready to settle down with one woman. Yeah, and they lie just to secure some pussy, and it's just a bad way of going about it.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
And that is a non-alpha thing to do.
Very much so.
The
Non-
alphas,
non-alpha thing to do.
the group of alpha males. Oh, God, I don't even like saying that word. Oh, God.
It's gonna be a
just
long
cringe.
stream.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long video that we're gonna have to watch.
Where
We're gonna have to say that over and over again. But yeah, no, I like it's
the A's.
it's the deceit. It's and stuff. That's what really gets me. Like you don't need to be lying, because you're not who you say you are if you lie. And so just being upfront and being truthful to yourself and being truthful to the other people around you is the best thing for you to do, and everyone will take you at that.
Lie to the woman.
Right.
That's the problem.
So when I was growing up, I was under the belief of just being with one woman, right? Like I was a virgin for a very long time. Then one girl broke my heart. So that
Wow.
caused like a lot of insecurity, resentment towards the other side, right? And then I just became like a man whore for a little bit.
The problem is you have guys who are monogamous, but they're monogamous because they're forced to be monogamous, in a way meaning that they have no choice because they don't have the skill to attract multiple women.
And a lot of times they'll use that as virtue signaling. I would never do such a thing. Well, actually, bro, you can't.
All right. Can the disagree step forward?
All right, here we go.
Let's see the betas. Let's see what the betas have to say about this. This is nonsense. You guys are out of your mind.
Yeah.
How could you ever do that?
How could you have done this?
I remember when I would like go on tour and things like that.
What the
Oh,
Oh
well,
no.
we found one.
Oh, what is he wearing?
Well,
what is he? What has he let someone draw
that's-
in his head?
You know, this makes sense. I think this.
Did they just? Did you?
Man, imagine going on a show and they just call you beta male, like you are the beta male. I don't know. Oh, that would feel weird.
Yeah, it
Like,
would.
hey guys, I'm the beta. I wish I was an alpha, but I'm a beta. So here I am. Hi. That just doesn't.
I feel like they just picked up a crack addict from the street and they just put him in there.
They put on some makeup on him and say,
It
"Here,
just
get in
says-
here, beta.
Get
We're
your
gonna
bitch.
we're gonna label you."
Get the fuck in here. All right.
My friends would always try to encourage me to like hook up with girls that were on to me, but I wasn't really like into it, and it made me feel like weird, like off, like there was something wrong with me. And now I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I'm only having sex with multiple women, so I'm not weird, so I'm quote unquote normal. I feel like even when I do have sex with these random women, it doesn't give me any gratification. And I know that comes with like random sex in the end, but I
Sometimes.
know in the back of my mind that like I just like simply don't enjoy this. Like I've been with multiple women and I've been with one woman, and being with one woman is just so peaceful. As far as like telling young men that they're born this way and that they should feel this way, it can really not do damage, but just sort of make you second guess things about yourself. Am I normal? Am I weird? Is there something off about me? Everyone else around me is saying that I have to feel this way or I have to do these things, but yet I don't feel the courage to do those things.
I would say that's not true, though. I don't think that we should promote men sleep with multiple women. I think that we should promote choice and what feels right to you. So in your particular case, I would never tell you to sleep with multiple women. I think you might be doing the right thing to do exactly what you're doing and not do it or stop doing it. It's not about pushing it on the young men, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of young men that have a demon inside and maybe are really upset and frustrated with themselves because they feel a certain way. And it's like, oh, I'm coming out the closet. I'm straight, or super straight or too straight or whatever it is. I think that it's really going to be about choice, man. So if me to you, I tell you, if that you don't feel good doing that, man, I wouldn't do it at all.
Yeah, I agree. In your situation, well, what was happening, and this is what I think a lot of times what happens is, You have guys who will have sex with multiple women because they're trying to fill a void. So it shouldn't be about filling a void. It should be about you actually desiring. So you don't desire to do it, so which is why you shouldn't do it. But there are guys who desire to do it, but then they're suppressing their desire, and then it's doing the same thing as you not wanting to do it. Like they feel.
Mr. Lucario is stealing the show so far.
Oh my god,
he
yeah.
is. He's destroying.
He's killing the game out here. He's saying both of these guys are saying the right things, to be honest. Because they're and as you can clearly tell, these guys, these alpha males over on this side, they're not trying to like stir the pot or like trying to debate hard. They're just saying their things. They're just they're agreeing. They're like, yeah,
They're just giving some
if you don't
ideas,
want
you
to,
know?
yeah. They're like, if you don't want to, you don't.
It's
have
not for
to.
everyone, guys. I mean, a lot of guys don't like, just like Mike.
Yeah.
Just like Mike.
Yeah,
He
like,
doesn't feel like
I
banging
don't,
multiple. It's just not. He don't care.
I don't. Yeah, I don't really care to.
It is
do
not
that.
now me. I'm kind of a little more adventurous. You feel me? You see, I'm at But I just
It's all.
This is
about choice.
is what I want at this part of my life. Things could change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's all about the freedom of choice. Like he has the choice to do this now,
Freedom,
but he
yeah.
also has the choice to be like, you know what, I'm done. I
Yeah,
had my
like,
fun. It's
I'm
over.
just gonna have sex with only you. I could do that if I wanted.
So it's the freedom of choice, which is
Yeah.
great. We love choice.
They feel weird about not doing it, but they want to. Whereas you felt weird doing it, but you didn't want to.
I think it's a society thing. Like what you just said, who's making them feel guilty about not doing it? Other men. The reason I think women and men, the question was, do you feel that men are meant to sleep with multiple women? Or they're just, that's what they do.
Depends on the brain.
And I don't think that's true. I think it's a part of your character and who you are. I do believe that if you're going to be honest with your partner is into it. But do I believe that we are biologically meant
Yes.
and it's in our head because we have to procreate and this and that? I don't believe that. I believe the reason we do it a lot is because it's
so funny to see the label of beta on these people when they're talking. I don't know. I'm sorry. This is really funny.
it's looked upon as a great thing for men to have multiple women. Women are shamed for that. Shamed totally. I have one son and two daughters, and I know the difference of how I felt when they were 15. They're in their 20s now. They were 15 versus him having multiple partners or my daughter.
So if I could struck a check for $1 million and never feel that feeling again, I absolutely would. I really, really would. It's something that I really hated myself for, and I felt very apart. I grew up in the South Louisiana. I was a Bible Belt, and I felt very distant from people around me because I had this urge in me and could not understand why I was so different. Like the biggest self-hate I've ever felt in my life is over this particular subject. I thought I was broken.
And I understand you. And me, again, I'm going to come back with, just being around it. And me, I'm bisexual. I've always have been. But like you heard me say, I've been married to a woman for 30 years.
Okay.
And I've been committed for 30 years. Doesn't that I don't have that desire. It's my character to say, this is my person. And that's who I want to be.
So that's what you're making a character versus is the driver.
I was going to say,
Then that goes back to, are we just built that way? Because if we're just built that way as men, then there's multiple people that I'm going to want to sleep with.
but I think what I was under the impression with that question was, are we biologically DNA
Right.
created for that? I say yes, but I love and I agree with what we're saying here. It's like, but as men, right, in the culture and awareness and being a human being, having a consciousness, choice, language, we can choose not to. We can go against those desires or urges and stuff.
If you feel that desire and you're honest with your partner, I believe that is true. Do I believe that we are biologically meant to, we just biologically want to sleep with more people because we have a penis between our legs and not a vagina? I don't.
Well, let me ask you this though, because you said you're bisexual. So does that means you're attracted to men and women, right? So if you're with a woman, well, aren't you also attracted to men? So wouldn't you want a man and a woman?
No.
So you just like, I just want one, and that's
I made a commitment. And it's not even like
but there's no urge to want
there's always
more.
urge.
That's what I'm that's what we're talking about.
But that doesn't mean that I'm biologically, I think men and women both have urges.
Where do you think the urge is coming from though, if it's not biologically inside of you?
I think the urge comes from, I don't think it's a biological thing. I think
temptation, not urge.
But the urge creates temptation, no?
But is temptation bad? Like you say it in a way that's kind of like
No.
temptation.
I don't think temptation's bad. I don't think it's a thing of,
He said temptations is
Oh,
the
then that
religion
goes-
guy's just like, ooh, here, that's my word. That's my cue to
Oh,
come in with
God.
the religion stuff. Let's go. Honestly, guys, it's biology. Don't listen to these guys. It has to do with biology.
back to all of us.
Different.
Yeah.
all of us are meant to sleep with multiple people. So then that's just a whole different society thing. But it's not just, the question was, as men, are we? And I don't think so.
But regardless, I think it's important to understand, 'cause I think we are. And if we can come to terms with that, we can begin to move past it if that's what we desire. But if we reject that idea that it's not natural, then we can't move past it if that's something that someone wants to do.
But do you agree it's just men? Do you agree with that statement that it's just
No, I think it's women too.
Okay. That's where I
yeah.
disagree.
Oh no, because we just talking men,
Right.
But I agree that it's men and women.
What it sounded like
Where did
was,
this come from?
and correct me if I'm wrong, people started talking about like infidelity and, you know, telling the truth. And I think like the urges and things are okay until you act upon it.
See that.
And that's when both adults just have to have a conversation about, you know, this isn't working out for me. I still want to, you know, sleep around or whatever you want to call it. It sounds like some people want to have their cake and eat it too, which I don't necessarily agree with. And I think just as long as all parties involved have an understanding of what they're getting into, I don't see the issue.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I could say it any better than he did. That, which I feel like most of us or all of us kind of agree upon, that in the end, it is a choice. That like, if you want to be in a poly like relationship, that's fine as long as everyone's in agreement. Obviously, don't, you know, be in a monogamous relationship and then, you know, like single-handedly choose to, you know, sleep with another woman without telling your partner. Like that's when like issues arise.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Don't lie to your partner. Do not do that.
We don't do that here at all.
Yeah, don't lie to anyone. Just stop it.
just
Stop
stop lying.
being inauthentic, you fucks.
You dummy.
Stop. Yeah.
Who is this?
Hi,
Hello.
this is Ragini, the director of this episode.
Oh,
You
wow.
can now stream your favorite episodes of Middle Ground
Oh,
on
I don't
Spotify
know.
whenever
I
you
don't
like.
care.
Please like this video if you enjoy watching it.
No.
Listen, my
Submissive
Submissive women are more attractive than dominating men. Than dominating women.
I would say, yeah, because it's just in my nature to like submissive women. But you got to be a dominating man in order to get a submissive woman. You can't
Yeah.
be a weak man and get a woman to submit to you. It just does not work like that. She's gonna be like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
She's not gonna. You got to be that guy. That guy. You got to be that guy for a woman to actually submit to you. You can't say to a woman, "I would like you to submit to me now." And she's like, "Oh my God, sir! Of course, I'm going to submit to you right now. Please, I'm going to get your coffee. How do you like your coffee? Do you want it black? Do you want sugar in it? Do you want heavy whipping cream? Do you want half and half? Do you want this kind of cream? Do you want vanilla?" It's not gonna happen like that. It's not, this doesn't work like that.
No.
But a lot of guys are just like socially retarded, and they think that, "Hi, you're going to submit to me right now. I am the alpha male in the relationship. You will submit to me." And they're like, "Oh, fuck you." And then they cheat on you, and then you go red pill. There's all this shit. It's like, you know, all this stuff.
Oh no. Okay.
But
well,
yeah. So, you know,
okay, so I agree submissive women are more attractive than dominating women because
are you a
I-
dominating man, Mike?
I believe. Well, let me continue with my statement here before I answer your question, because I believe that being submissive is more inclined to femininity, and so when a woman is being very feminine and being, you know, and I guess being submissive, right, in conjunction, they would look a lot more attractive than a dominating woman, because you think of dominating as more of a masculine type of trait. And so if a woman is dominating, she would look more masculine, which might lower her attractiveness. So she might still look good. She might still be sexy. But if she's if she has the dominating features, it might lower her attractiveness level. And what were you saying?
I said, are you a dominating man, Mike?
Oh, I am.
They will ask, the viewers will ask.
Oh yeah.
If you are a dominant man to your
I am the dominance.
Mike is just that guy. Same thing with the girls I see. I'm just that guy. So, you know, they don't have to submit to me, but if they do, then they will be rewarded.
Yeah, yeah, like she does what she wants, but I tell her, I'll be like,
"What are you doing?
What are you doing?" And then she does it.
women are more attractive than dominating women.
Oh hell yeah! You know,
The alpha males are coming in.
hell yeah! Listen, my shirt says "submissive women are sexy." Okay, so
yeah, it's true, man. It's true.
Pretty funny.
Look, I think one of the most beautiful things about love is being able to fully take care of a woman in every way, whether that's emotionally protecting, providing, everything about that, like every fairy tale that was ever written for all of time was about a man saving a woman from a castle and a dragon, right? Or some sort of scenario like that. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. And I have nothing against women being empowered, but I do feel like the happiest women in the world are the ones that look up to a man and that he can fight every day to love her and love his kids and his family and provide and be that source of something to actually look up to. Like, I believe a woman can admire a man and it's very, very, very healthy. Am I saying that somebody that doesn't do that is not a man? No, I would never. But ideally, the relationships that are going to work, the relationships in, let's say, the 30s, 40s, 50s, or whenever, you know, we were having nuclear families stay together before we went off the gold standard and inflation pushed everybody to have two people have to have a job. Yeah, dude, I do. I think those relationships are much happier when the man can lead a house and be proud of going out and going to work every day and fighting for his family. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think what we have to do is we have to look at general female happiness, because that's really what I'm into. Like, I don't really care what guys think or what girls think. I think I have a unique perspective in that I've worked with a lot of high-performing women that operate in this dominant role. And I work with them for the purpose of helping them be able to reintegrate with that more submissive, connected, intuitive part of themselves that really is connected to their bodies, that if they were connected to their bodies wouldn't be as dominant, at least in the presence of men. And with every woman that I've worked with, there is this deep, deep, deep desire, regardless of what she says externally, to submit to the leadership of a man that she knows can properly hold down the emotional space and really put her interest.
I will say that many women have not actually met a man before. They
Like a
only know
man.
males. They've
Yes.
never met an actual man that leads and guides them and gives them, you know, just gives them that really good feeling inside. So there's a lot of women that hate men out there, but the reason that they hate men is because they've never met a man before. And a lot of people hate what they don't know. They'll never understand. So
Yeah.
when a woman meets a real man, it's like, whoa, everything changes. So a lot of women out there have just, you know, have unfortunately dealt with weak men their entire life, and then they're, you know, and they're just,
They're upset.
yeah, they're chaotic and upset. But when they meet that guy, things change for the better, or sometimes for the worst.
Yeah, you just have to find out yourself.
Yeah,
At the forefront.
Right? Because soon as when a woman is dominant over that man, she can't respect him.
true.
It's just impossible.
They feel safe.
Right, exactly. And the thing is with submission is like if you even look at the word submission, sub under a mission. If I have a mission and this woman is under my mission, meaning I'm leading her, right? Then that is a actual good relationship that's going to flourish.
Truly, deep down, every woman would love nothing more than to be more feminine in a role in a family and take on that, either that motherly role or that nurturing role, or the role that feels supportive to the overall mission of a man. It's just got to be a man worth getting behind. And weak men are the reason why this is a problem. Case in point, look at the workplace. You don't see women applying for jobs to be power line guys or hang steel at steel companies. They're not picketing outside of the United States Army being like, why won't you draft me? They don't want that smoke, bro. Like, and that's okay.
Right.
And I can't say enough. It's like, as a man, like, you get to take pride in taking care of a woman, protecting women. What about your daughters, man? You want to protect them, provide, care for them. That's okay. Let them be feminine. A strong man doesn't need you to be a man. He say, fine, you can be a woman. You're safe, sweetheart. You come with me. Right. That's it.
Listen.
I like that. I don't want to listen to you. Sorry. I ain't doing that. You siren.
Get out of here, ads.
What a freaking siren out here. Here they come.
There were just a few things that I disagree on. I think that in 2023, especially, I think women just want to be able to look to the side and see their partner as an equal. And I think a lot of women now I don't think they're trying to be men. I think what they're realizing is that the qualities that they were looking for in men, they've always had it within themselves. If women are submissive, it's mostly for, I want to say, like, the validation for the man. I think they know in the back of their heads, like, they know now that they can do things on their own. But I don't think they necessarily need a man. But I think what they're looking for is that intimacy to have a partner. But I don't think that they require one.
Oh no, they do, because a lot of these girls, they usually go home and cry at night from being lonely, from not having a man. They have all these things, and then they're upset they don't have a man. You know what I mean? And I heard you say that,
Yeah. There are a lot of girls like that.
Yeah. Yeah. See it all the time.
women want to be the man's equal, but you don't see, and maybe this could just be a societal thing, a societal pressure, but you don't see women doing things that could make them equal to the men. You don't see the women approaching the men. You don't see the women paying for the dates. You don't see the woman being more assertive to the man. You see what I'm saying? So where's that at?
Because they got options. They got so much more options than
Well, I'll
men.
tell you what you do see. You see a high level of women on antidepressants more than ever, right?
Also true.
And I think that's a bunch of women trying to cope with trying to be like a man when really, let me ask you a question. Are you more attracted to a woman that has a high paying job or to a woman's beauty?
That doesn't matter to me.
It does matter. It does matter to me.
You asked me. You could,
But I would like to say
a mother figure rather than a woman.
absolutely not. But I would like to say that you're saying that women, have a higher, have antidepressants, but men, I'm a social worker, so men 1 out of 10 are more likely to experience depression, but more likely to go undiagnosed and not seek therapy or help. So I do think, and women also, you have to consider the fluctuation in hormones, pregnancy, because that can alter, their mental health. So I think that's kind of a moot point, but I feel like, I'm not looking for a mother figure. I'm looking for an equal. So I feel like with, if we're saying that women, they're like going home crying, looking for men, I think it's also that societal pressure that tells you at the same time you have to have multiple women. They're telling the women you have to have that one man, that husband by a certain age, have kids by a certain age. There's more pressure on them than there is men. And for, lack of a better term, I think men have gotten off a lot easier because women have so much pressure and they get judged more harshly than men do for talking about back then when men used to go home, bring home the bacon or whatever, the domestic violence rate was pretty high during that time. And I'll also say that for people of color, we never really had the luxury of working one job. So my parents, their parents before them, everybody always had to work, man and woman. So there was always that equal opportunity for them to be able to see that they could do it together as opposed to put that one pressure. And I also would like to ask if you guys find submissive women more attractive than dominant women, is that because it makes you feel more validated as a man, or is there something there that you feel like feeds into your purpose as a man?
Yeah, well, it's a balance.
I'd
If
think
if I'm a dominant person, I need a submissive. If I meet a dominant,
Yeah, it's complementary is
Right.
what we like to say.
It's all balancing.
If-
Yeah, yin and yang.
Yeah,
right?
it's a yin and yang thing. We are the yin and we are dominant. They are the yang and they are submissive. And together you form a perfectly balanced relationship.
Right.
And so that's just how that works. That is nature at its finest.
dominant woman, we're gonna butt heads.
And it doesn't mean that like it can't be opposite because it totally could. I don't know
Right.
if it really. I haven't personally seen it work out for a while like that, but it could happen in theory. So I'm just gonna put it out there just to put it out there.
What if that changes? Like, what if she grows? Because I would love everybody to be able to grow throughout life. What if she starts becoming more dominant? Is that like a
You're saying if she starts becoming more dominant in our relationship?
more dominant or equal to your dominant?
Oh yeah, she's gone. She's finished.
And see,
We're done.
And see, that's my thing. Like, look, I got children.
True.
I don't need somebody else to take care of. And I love your thing about, the Prince Charming and everything. But you know what I need? I need a badass woman who can match my badass energy. I work with my wife, and I'm gonna tell you, I take care of her. She takes care of me, and she's badass. And that's what I'm attracted to. I don't need a submissive that I have someone to take care of. And then it's fine. If she goes through that, then I'll be there and I will take care of her. But I'm not looking for somebody, another child to take care of and have to dominate and tell you go over there. This is where we're going to go to dinner. This is where we're going to do that. No, that's why what he was saying, I was going to bring that fact up too. A lot of men are depressed because they put it on this shield of I have to be the leader. I have to do this. And you know who goes to get help first?
Okay, so it should be natural. It's not like a have to.
Yeah.
The woman will naturally ask you, "Hey, what are we gonna do?" And you should be that guy knowing, like, what's
exactly
going
what to
on.
do.
So yeah, let's go to hey, well, what do you think we should go for dinner? I'm like, let's say we're gonna go to TGI Fridays. We're gonna get the burger with no bun, side of broccoli. We're gonna get the table, not the booth. We're gonna eat inside, not outside. It's all good. Let's go over here. We'll go to the bar area. I want a shot of Jack Fire, please. If you want to have a green tea shot, those are pretty nice. Goes down smooth. Like it's just a natural, like, well, I kind of like the idea of TGI Fridays. I like the idea of sitting at the booth or the bar. I kind of, hey, yeah, I'm down for that. Cool, let's go. And then boom, it's just a good night. So it should just be natural, not like I must tell you to go here. If I don't, I'm not a man. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's a natural thing. It's a natural thing.
Yeah, that's what we said in the beginning too. Like
Yeah.
it
should
has
be
to feel
natural, organic chemistry.
Exactly.
Women.
Okay, that totally makes sense. I think if we're talking about men not ever dealing with their emotions, it makes sense for this argument that you guys are talking about. But I'm of the firm believer, I've gotten a lot of therapy in my life. I've done a lot of things for myself personally to resolve my own internal conflict. Okay, so it's a job of alpha men. The real integrated alpha man has the capacity to understand what he's feeling, why he's feeling the way that he is, articulate in a way that is productive to the dynamic. So a real man is someone that understands himself deeper at an emotional level, has taken the time to do that so he can show up as a rock, not so he can show up more emotionally.
Problem is that if you're super emotional, when we talk about the whole thing of being submissive or dominant, your woman is going to dominate you because you're so emotional.
Emotionally unstable. Let's say that. It's emotional. Let's stop using emotion. Let's start using emotionally unstable.
Right. Since you're so emotionally unstable, she's going to dominate you, and then she's going to lose respect for you, and that's going to teeter the waters of the relationship.
So, I mean, you guys know dominatrix exists for
A
a
reason.
reason. And by the way, I used to personal train at dominatrix. You guys are their clients.
Not me, cowboy.
I'm being serious. Like, it's a very hidden thing. I used to date them. High positions of power, very alpha. But like, here's the thing. I think you guys put a little bit too much pressure on yourselves. It might be a societal thing. I've dated submissive women before. I find them highly annoying. Sometimes I just want somebody to pick a choice. I like her places. She's got better taste than I do when it comes to that kind of stuff. So please go ahead. We do butt heads once in a while because she is dominant. But does that mean she lost respect or attraction for me? No, not at all. And trust me on that one. So I think it does depend on your energy. You have a very high one, right? Maybe it doesn't mix well with somebody who also has a really high dominant energy. I'm not saying that's wrong because they exist for a reason, submissive people, right? But I just think for me, when it's very submissive, I don't find that as sexy. I find that annoying.
But see, and that makes sense. And the reason why, see, what happens is the more masculine you are, the more you want the woman to be submissive. The more dominant she is, then the more.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty fucking masculine, dude. And I don't want somebody that submissive.
I'm saying that in that moment you're in your feminine, but go ahead.
Yeah, again, this all
that's
goes
what
down
you want.
to choice.
Like, you as one thing that's why we, you as a man need to know who you are, what you want, what you truly are. Like not a facade, not some fake stuff. Like, who are you? What do you want?
Who are you
in life, and how are you going to get what you want, and what are the things you're going to do to accomplish your goals? Like, you gotta know yourself. A lot of guys don't even know who they are. They don't know their boundaries. They don't know their principles, their morals. They don't know what they would do in certain situations. They don't know what they would say. They can't make up their mind. They're just lost. They have no self foundation. They have no self identity, and because of that, a lot of people, their lives, they just complicate their lives because they don't know what they're doing. They're just like, they're just lost in their own mind. They don't know who they are, and they suffer. And then if you get a relationship with a woman, she feels that you don't know who you are, and then she's like, and it just goes downhill from there. Any other thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, no, like we said before, it's all based on your choice. Like, you are your own person, and you might be completely different from someone else that might be sitting right next to you. But you might have similar thoughts, you might have similar ideas, but it doesn't mean that both of you are completely the same. And so, like Mr. Lucario was saying before, he had his own thoughts and his own ways, and then the other guy over here, closest to the left, he thought the same way, but his process was a little different. And so that's what I'm trying to say. It's all based on your choice, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Certain things work better for you than it might work for someone else, and so on and so forth. So you depending, I guess, again, on your energy, like, you might like slightly more dominant, not as submissive women. And it doesn't mean that you're not super dominant. You might be still dominant, but if they're a little dominant, then you got to balance out that dominance, with you need to become more dominant when you need to be. So it's just all based on your choice, honestly. Who gives a shit?
Right.
If you and your wife have like a conversation about a disagreement, and then you guys like a healthy conversation, and then she ends up being right in the situation, would you consider her dominating me?
No, I consider her right.
So what's your definition of like dominant? Like you always have to be right?
No, it's not about right and wrong. It's about who's running the show.
So by her being right, is that not her?
No, that's just her being right in that conversation.
Yeah, a good leader would allow someone else to be right. A good leader doesn't have to be right. He wants the team to win.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd call a man insecure if he wouldn't allow a woman to be right on the subject she was clearly.
I like that.
I do like that. And, it goes back to the question of like, what do you find more attractive? Because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a preference.
What's a preference? It's a preference. One of the things you said is like when you and your partner or girlfriend get into something and it's like a little heated, like I get off on that.
Me, I totally don't get off on that. Like I don't need any back talk. I don't need any lip. I don't need any attitude. It's my way or the highway. Like I don't want none of it.
Didn't even have a
Yo,
conversation in the first place.
That's
about
who he
it.
is, though.
You're not having
No,
a
no,
conversation.
No, I love it. I love it because like everyone was starting to get really good, and
He's
everyone's
like,
starting
no,
to get
no,
he's
no,
like,
no.
"Nah, fuck that shit." He's like, no, I don't like that shit. I was like,
I respect a man that
He-
it's
he
just
says
his
what he says
opinion.
what
That
he
is who he is,
it's
and that's
who he
okay.
is. That's
You
fine.
guys should not be afraid to be who you are, no matter what group you're in. Just you got to be yourself and be
Love that, man.
authentic. You know,
Shout out to you, Mr. Locari. I'm just saying.
he's
Shout
still
out to you.
stealing the show. He Bobby has
Absolutely.
the
That's why he's in the center, bro. That's why he's in the center.
yeah, true.
Stealing that shit.
No.
So you just want to be challenged. You don't to be challenged. That's okay. Like no back talk. I'm right.
That's a different thing. If we're talking about a topic and she's right about the topic, that's just how
No,
us talking about the
like
topic.
an opinion of yours or things that.
No, I'm talking about.
Agrees with
If
that.
you make an opinion, you're saying you want no back.
No. I'm not talking about opinions. I'm talking about decisions. So we can have a conversation about a topic, but when it comes to a decision, the final decision is mine.
Let me change my word. If we're to have a healthy discussion about a decision, which she disagrees.
She says I disagree.
Right. She said, so if we say, hey, she wants to do A, B, and C. And I say, no, I want to do D, E, and F. Right.
Doing that.
We're doing D, E, and F at the end of the day. Now I will listen to what she says. And if I think A, B, and C sounds better, then I say, okay, yeah, let's do A, B, and C. Because
But you
that
don't
sounds
want back talk in the first place.
No.
You
That's
even
no,
entertain the conversation.
no, that's what I'm saying. If we're having a conversation, that's cool. I'm saying the final decision though is mine. So you can speak your mind, but at the end of the day, I'm making the final decision.
So it's like I'm gonna let you
Right.
talk.
No.
Yeah.
I say
Hit
this.
him.
I say this shit all the time. If I have a way that I want to do something, right? And my girl comes over to me and is like, "No, we should do it this way," like how he was explaining it. I want to do D, E, and F. She wants to do A, B, and C. And if I listen to her and I let her speak, explain what she's trying to say, if I start to think about it as well and start to try to put into my perspective on what she's saying, and if I believe that that actually might be a little bit better, then yeah, I'm going to 100% be like, okay, no, I actually, yeah, we should do that because I think that is actually better. And it's again, it is still my decision. She might have brought me pretty much brought me a different set of eyes on a different perspective on something that I might not have seen when I was when I was thinking about wanting to do D, E, and F.
Right.
And so by her giving me that, I was like, okay, now let's do that. That I will make that decision. We are going to do that. Thank you for bringing that up or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's like, no, I don't want, if she goes, no, I don't want to do that. We need to do this because this, blah, 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 and starts getting a little crazy, then that's where you're like, no, like, don't do that. We don't like that bad behavior.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. You just have to be, like a good leader will listen to his team what they got to say, and it's always like it's good to insert different perspectives and views, and you have to be able to a good leader listens to his team.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, let you talk. Yes.
In the end, I don't really care. I don't do what I want.
No, I said I care.
I do want to touch upon
There's one more thing with like let's clarify submissive. Let's not get that mistaken between incompetent. Like submissive does not mean incompetent. And I think you might have been talking about women that could be incompetent, where they don't have the capacity to take care of themselves at all or make any type of decision. So I think there's definitely a difference in how she shows up in the relationship compared to being able to make decisions in her everyday life.
Sure, but he doesn't want them to make decisions.
No, I didn't say I didn't want them to make decisions.
No, your decision's the final, no matter what.
Some of the strong.
No, but he literally was just explaining that, like, if his girl brought up a different, A, B, and C instead of wanting to do D and F, and explained it in a way where it made sense, then it was her. Technically, it was she's wanted to do it that way,
right?
But he still made the choice. But he let her speak her mind. He let her, bring it up and show him that different perspective. So that's what's great about a relationship like that. And people who say no, we should do A, B, and C can still be submissive, but I know that they're not incompetent because they have clearly thought about the process, and if they explained it well enough for me to change my mind and to say, oh no, we should actually do that, they're definitely not incompetent. They can still be submissive though.
Strongest women in the world right now are sitting in submissive roles because they're strong enough to think for themselves and do what they feel good in their heart. Because there are women that do want to be submissive naturally. And some of those women are the strongest women in the world right now, especially when the world's telling them to go be something that they don't want to be.
I do agree that honestly, it is a choice. It's a preference. You know, we shouldn't speak upon like everybody. Obviously, like it's always a gray area. It's a range. It's not one side or the other. And if you guys want to be in a relationship where the woman is submissive and the woman also wants to be in a relationship where the male is dominant, that's completely fine.
Yeah.
But the thing I want to talk about more is the fact that like you guys keep saying that like this is what women want or that like all women want this. Who are we to decide what women want? Because first of all, we're not women. And second, just because of our personal experiences in our lifetime about the people we've interacted with, I feel like that's something we need to take a step back from and clarify that like, no, this is just my personal opinion. In the end, we don't know what women want. Woman knows what they want, not men.
I have yet
Well, you
to
can-
see a relationship that because
I mean, you can see patterns in different scenarios. I mean, there is
You
actual
could make generalized like assumptions, I guess. I mean,
Human
the
nature
person's-
is human
yeah,
nature
The person's
to a
correct.
degree.
Like we aren't women, so like we can't fully understand. But we can have a generalized opinion, generalized sense of what they would want based upon our experiences, especially with people who have experienced multiple women. They would have a better understanding. They have a lot more data to go through to know what specifically can happen depending on specific situations if they've gone through that specific situation multiple times with multiple different women. So like it's just a matter of, yeah, you're correct, but there's also this other thing. So it's a very big gray area. There's no black and white on a lot of these things. It's very gray, and honestly that's just fine.
I would say a relationship dynamic that is optimal has deep connection where you could say there's a deep friendship there, but also there's sexual polarity. And I've seen dynamics where there is a great friendship there and there is connection and they do live very cohesively. But when the woman is more dominant, the majority of the time, I've yet to see a dynamic where consistently over time, there is strong sexual polarity on her end in a dynamic.
And that's fine. Like if that's what you've seen in your lifetime, that's completely fine. Like,
I think
but then that's
biology says that. I don't think it's just my personal opinion. I don't think, but like,
Probably you just surround yourself with.
yeah, like, that's the thing. It's like just because you've grown up in a certain area where like people are like that, because like I could say the same thing, but on the other side, where I've seen plenty of people and plenty of relationships where like that wasn't the case, but then they're like sexually fine, you know, that they're perfectly fine, their polarity is completely fine, and they're happy. And I could say the same thing. I could keep going at you saying that like, oh, because of what I've seen or what I've experienced, dominant men, it won't work. But then that's dumb because there are cases where dominant women do work, but there's also cases where it doesn't.
No, it's all
When they're happy, they're probably not going out saying, "I'm so happy, I'm dominant, I'm a woman." They're not going around saying that. You know, they're just happy. They stick to themselves most of the time when that happens.
All right.
What the hell just happened?
I don't know. Damn,
Everyone
Walmart.
just like stops and like
what? Because I think the
destroyed.
time was up probably.
Oh yeah, probably, yeah. Definitely. Don't attack me, kids. Yeah, so far, like everything that they've said for the most part, I at least
Seems to
some
be
of it I
everybody's
agree
calm.
with.
Everybody's not really too emotional or anything.
Yeah, it hasn't really blown up. Some of these we've seen.
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
So,
we like that.
I am great at sex.
I mean,
Okay. Well, yes, of course I am.
Of course I am.
Of
I'm an
course I am.
alpha male. How could I not be good at sex? Are you kidding me? Prompts it's starting to get ridiculous.
Yeah, actually,
But just for the
I'll-
comedy, we'll just watch it.
yeah, that's funny.
Oh, come on, man.
If not everyone comes up,
I mean, I have a lot to learn.
come on, dog.
That's a
Damn.
Oh, is it what?
Ah.
Prove it.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry.
right now.
Bro, this was a chance to redeem yourself.
No, I know, but it's just
All right.
Actually, I'm gonna go back.
Whoa.
With my partner, my wife.
He retracted his dick.
Damn.
He put it back.
Am I great at sex? I think so. I mean, I do a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Like I try to get it from all angles.
What?
You know what I'm talking about? You know when you're
I didn't even see what you were doing until I was looking into the viewfinder. You were like,
yeah, you get like when you're smashing, you kind of go to the side a
you
little
go to the
bit,
side,
and
go
yeah,
to
you
the
gotta
side.
like I'm like a boat. You know when you're in a boat and you're going like in the like. I'm like
no.
MP42. You know, like, I think I'm
no,
pretty.
no one's gonna understand that reference.
Yeah, nobody's gonna
man.
really.
No one's
I'm
gonna get that.
just, I hit. You know,
just- yeah.
I
Well,
I attack with all my might. I must destroy.
listen.
I am a destroyer of worlds.
Listen,
Like-
sex is always a learning experience for everybody.
Yeah.
You always learn new things whilst doing it, and so I feel like everyone's always a student in the game of that. But like you could still be pretty good, but I feel like it's also subjective. I feel like sex is more of like an
I'd
art.
have to ask over 100 women about my.
Yeah, I feel like sex is like an art, right? It's subjective. So like you might think, oh, this is the shit. Like
I'm the best. Yeah, you like this, and
but-
then like,
but then some girls would be like,
okay.
that was average. That was fine.
Or
then some of them will
I'm
just
so
be
happy
like,
I got to come once. You know, it's like,
or some of them would just be like, this was the greatest thing I've ever.
well, would you look at the
had in
time?
my life? I must have this every
They
second.
look
of
at their
every day.
watch. Oh well,
You know.
it's time for dinner.
Yeah, and so I feel like it's always just subjective, but like
Yeah.
it's always good for a man to have the confidence in themselves to be like, yeah, no, I think I do a good job.
Yeah, it's good to
it's
be
stuff
confident.
but
Yeah,
he needs to understand that he can always learn more, and that it's okay to.
you have not
to-
read the Kama
yeah.
Sutra over 15 times.
Yeah, you need to just continue to learn. You can't just be like, oh, I'm the best, so I don't need to try. Like,
Yeah,
no,
I
you
think
need
I'm
to
good at it,
try.
but I do, of course I know I have more to learn. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
cool.
always it's always good to know that you might be decent or at least good in a way where you can satisfy, but you also need to learn that there's also more that you can learn, and there's also ways that you can be better. So it's always a thing. It's like working out and stuff. It's all
Right.
the same.
Wife, I'm able to not only connect physically, but also emotionally. And then I think that's the biggest trick I've learned. Not trick, but the thing I've learned about my years of being with my partner. You have to sort of like, keep the spice going.
I would say, I think the fact that we have a woman who keeps coming back or who keeps wanting it, I think that that's a sign that she thinks you're great at sex. You know what I mean? Because she actively wants to keep it going and keep.
Then.
Yeah, because like
oh
I
yeah,
said,
I'm
like,
absolutely good.
yeah, like I said before, like it's subjective, and so if they like it, they're gonna keep wanting it. If
Hey
they,
Andrew, would you by any chance want to hang out again? Yeah,
yeah,
I did good. Oh yeah, I got
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I
But
did
keep
good.
it-
Yeah.
keep it going in that direction. I will say though, I'm better at sex with women I care about. So I think, and me being a player and a guy who goes out and talks to a lot of different women, if with my girlfriend or like
I'm really, really attracted to him.
my wife or whatever like that, sex would be great. With the other girls, it can still be good, but I know that I don't really put in that much effort because it's almost like I'm masturbating with someone.
And eventually, you know your partner's like comfortability, what they like, what they don't like, and things, and that's how you make sex a lot better instead of like sleeping with.
1,000%. Plus, you love them.
Right.
Like, so you knew if you were gonna die today and you could have sex with one person before you die, it would be that person. Like, no matter what, like you could have every supermodel, every movie star, everything. Like, fuck all that. Like, I want that person.
Focus so much on like what they like as well. Like you're kind of there to like
Eddie, baby,
pleasure
I
them.
can't-
It's so weird to see. It's so weird to see the those tags like that. It's so funny.
God, talk
I-
about
I'm
degrading
sorry.
yourself on.
I'm sorry, bro.
Jesus,
Damn, man.
because you care about them so much.
Right.
Which is
alpha. I'd be like,
If I
okay.
saw it like that, if I saw it like my name and it say that underneath, I'd just be like, I'd be so weird.
why like you would hyperfixate on like what do they like, what they don't like, and you can easily like adjust yourself and put in effort for that person.
And like, for instance, it's so true that you said that because my wife and I, we have this thing we call the love menu. Okay, why did we invent the love menu? We invented the love menu because we have 3 children and they're only 2 years apart. They're in the mid-20s now, but think about it, 2, 4, 6 at home, and I'm working and she's doing her thing. So we found that in our young relationship, sometimes the other person might be tired and like but that's hurt feelings. That makes you kind of do this type of thing. So what we did is we come up with a love menu of like, here's the appetizers. I might not be ready for the full course tonight, but here's your appetizer because I know you like this, or here is your dessert, or here's your main course meal. And we broke it into those things. So when we do come to each other and we need that connection, it's not just like, I'm tired, I don't feel like it. It's kind of like, well, what's going to happen? We got a full course meal tonight, or we're just going to have some appetizers. And that's kept it spicy for us. And also, like what you say, making sure we're pleasuring each other. It's not just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I need to get my rocks off. But like, how are you feeling about that? And how are you feeling about that? Because when you're in a long-term committed relationship, you have to do that or it dies.
Right.
And I love that. I love that you talk about the amount of intention that you live with in regard to making sure that you're always evolving with it, always making sure that it's spicy. You just care. I think if you have a genuine care for the other person that you're involved with, then maybe you're not great right then and there, but it will eventually develop into being something that way. So I love that care that you demonstrate with that.
I'm interested in what you had to say. You've been very quiet on this one. You're usually like,
All he said was, "Look at the receipts." You know, he knows it.
And look, and that's a very important thing, right? Is so I think that as a man, I hate to say, actually, I don't hate to say, that you should come in confidently. And I do find by and largely, it's kind of like you could have the alpha beta argument. I do that thinking coming in kind of in a dominant way. There's a reason 50 Shades of Grey is so popular. There's a reason it's the most read book of all time. There's a reason there's detail in it. And I think you can say so much to a woman in sex without saying a word. You know what I'm saying? It's about how you touch her, how you have your hands on her, the way you take over her in that way. And that's okay. Just knowing and seeing that expression and seeing things that happen and as a result of that is enough for me to know where I stand on the subject.
the only thing I disagree with you about is I agree with that energy, that take control energy. And I think one woman does love that. But sometimes my wife likes to take control and I love it.
Well, get up there, girl. Get up there, girl, and do what you got to do.
You know, like
I'll put my hands behind my head too. Yeah, count.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry.
I feel-
Yeah, but by and largely,
Yeah.
yes. And then when she wants to, but even when you're on bottom, man, you still doing work, bro. It's all about dancing, bro.
I don't want to get naked, but I have sex tattooed on my chest. Can I?
Bro, it wouldn't take much.
It's right here on my wrist.
What the heck is he wearing?
Ah,
I just noticed that it's all the way down here. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Yo,
Okay.
why am I looking at a nipple?
Okay.
Why?
He is sex positive.
Yo, that was
Sex positive
that is
male.
such a waste of money.
Sex
I can't
positive
believe
beta
you
male.
wasted money to get that.
It's his money.
Someone better have given that to you for free, or like done it to you as a joke, because
It's a
like as
Sharpie.
a prank or
It's a
something.
Sharpie.
Sharpie, because that's just dumb. It's just absolutely fucking asinine.
To each their own.
This dude definitely is homeless and like came off the streets. Like I don't get it. Like what the hell are you?
Hey, that's his style.
What an alien.
All right. And it's like an old one too. Not even like a.
I think the biggest thing I've ever heard from my sexual partners is like, "Wow, you really caught me off guard,"
Oh yeah.
and I
love
think
that.
that's like a big part of it.
All right, so do you want to end it here for today?
Yeah, before everyone else comes in, we'll end it here. I think we've heard enough.
Yeah,
We've
we're
heard just
gonna
enough
we're gonna
for-
do
for
part
today.
2 tomorrow or the day after, guys. You guys. So definitely, this is an interesting. It's an interesting concept here.
Very interesting. Love the subject matter. It's very fun to hear other people's opinions.
It's definitely a funny conversation and interesting worldviews here. Yeah, you guys just got to be who you are, and live the way you want. You know, whatever you're into, you're into. You know, we try to give advice where we can about things we know, and to find out more about you and your individual style and what makes you the true alpha male you can become.
Exactly.
So with that said, guys, make sure you definitely smash the like button and subscribe to the channel to show some support. You could also donate to the Cash App link description below. We put a lot of hard work into this channel, and you could also leave a comment. Let us know what you guys think about this video in the comment section below. And with that said, we're going to see you guys in the next video.